Cause that what she like. Don't turn off the lights, that what she like.
I know.
Can't believe a sweet girl like you would I tell ya. No sweetness, tie she weakness, yeah, yeah. No feelings, just fuck it up like you mean it. No sweetness, tie she weakness, yeah, yeah. No feelings, just fuck it up like you mean it. Girl, why not? Cause that what she like. Don't turn off the lights, that what she like. Can't believe a sweet girl like you would I tell ya. No sweetness, tie she weakness, yeah, yeah. No feelings, just fuck it up like you mean it. No sweetness, tie she weakness, yeah, yeah. No feelings, just fuck it up like you mean it. Girl, wine and go down, waistline flow like a melody. Go down, pretty girl, you are the recipe. Go down, fire in the kitchen, my girl, how you cook that, cook them, let me see. Nice man can't keep your interest. Come with flowers and they get dismissed. You have to handle the business proper. Oh Lord, tell what she like, tell what she like. She wants some action in she life. Come good or just don't come at all. Tell what she like, tell what she like, tell what she like. She want the roughness in she life. And when I put down the work, watch out she face light up. Boy, no sweetness, die she weakness, yeah, yeah. No feelings, just fuck it up like you mean it. No sweetness, die she weakness, yeah, yeah. No feelings, just fuck it up like you mean it. All eyes on you, all eyes on you. Girl in the middle of the dance, see when you get in the mood, you make it jiggle and bounce. All eyes on you, you in the middle of the dance. See when you kick off the shoe, you make it wiggle and bounce.
Cause I believe in the truth, and I just wanna live good. I don't want no dirty secrets fighting me and you.
Alrighty, you guys, good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today we are in the CR 72-600 our Caribbean Airlines delivery. We're heading out to Guadeloupe today. Just a short flight, like about a half an hour. Our flight is gonna be a short one. However, Guadeloupe and around the Caribbean areas, we are having a lot of rain. So the weather is a little bit spotty. We are going to experience some turbulence while we depart out of Dominica here today. Landing, if you notice, out in Guadeloupe, all this area here is the all these areas here are clouds. We're not going up high, we're not going to high altitude. We should be 7,000 from the state. Taking a look at our century plan here. So, just go ahead and verify our maximum so we've been working for the entire week. We have a one-way ticket to greatness. For this
Cause I believe in the truth, and I just wanna live good.
So, what's going to happen is we're going to keep flying up to 7,000 feet, have 64 passengers, and we are just about getting everything set up. I can use my GSX once we start up the engines. GSX is going to have pushback on this. Just have to see how we get in, we good around and take off. We should have the full Caribbean is pretty. Just take a look at my
Set up yourself now, brace yourself now. This kind of truth good for your health now.
Yeah, the Caribbean
I know
is
it might
a
hurt
little
up your
bit,
head now. Hope I didn't set up myself, but love comes from a place where we don't get jealous. And we don't live like no dream sellers. I say we keeping it real, telling you like it is. I'll be there for you with anything you're facing. I'll be your sunlight when it's raining. Stay together and we go in places. Yeah, yeah. I'll be by your
hour here in Dominica. So we're going to go ahead and call down on that. And I just want to live cool. I just want to live. I don't want no dirty secrets fighting me and you. She said, take it easy, I will do the work. You don't have to music here. Then for the entire week, I've been at work. Take it easy, I will do the work. I've been at work for However, I made some adjustments in my bias, and during the flight I did not notice until I realized that I was having a little bit of stuttering. However, when I checked, I noticed that my CPU was not hyper-threaded, it was just sitting at 3.4 gigahertz and just sitting there for the entire time, which is a bad thing because you needed the performance. This goes up to 4.8 gigahertz, and it was just stuck at 3.4, so I had to go reset my bias and just make some slight adjustments, restart my PC, and then it's back to normal. Because I noticed that I was having thread limitations a lot, and I just could not perform anything with that. So instead of going ahead and with the entire, I already did like about 12 hours in that flight, and I was like, you know what, I was literally like 900 miles from my destination, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do it because it's like, it's annoying right then, and I just could not. Alright, so we're just gonna go ahead and load up our flight plan information here. Alright, so we're leaving via 09er, carried 1 departure, race set transition, and then we're into race set for runway 12. Now I'm just going to go ahead and do a visual landing for runway 12. So once we start flying, I will, most times these ATRs are visually, so majority of the time I'm not going to be flying this, following following like ILS or anything like that. So just go ahead and set an hour route here. You notice I quickly did it, carried 1 departure with that for the reset. So it's going to be a straight out departure. We're just going to go ahead and climb out. Our altitude is supposed to be 3,000, but I'm going up to 7,000. If you look right here, I'm going up to 7,000 because that's the usual flight for this area, 7,000 to 7,500 for this short flight here. So we're going to go ahead, everything is set right now, fuel is set, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull up our G6 here and have G6.
Boarding requested.
Alright, so BWIA West Indies, it's going to be the same thing for Caribbean Airlines, what they were currently decided to charge for Caribbean Airlines. So let's go ahead and get this. So our parking
Do you want to board crew? Crew bus is coming.
So our parking parade is engaged. All of it is set. FMS comm nav is all set. There's our comm here. Our FMS is set. And our nav is adjusted. Our fuel on board is checked 18 to 17 kilos. But I have to make that adjustment here.
Pilot's boarding starting.
We're going to use our zero fuel weight as the weight that we're going to do our loading. We are 5,300 kilograms. So let's go ahead and
Crew boarding starting.
Alright, so just going to go ahead and enter this here, and our fuel weight is 1261. So we're going to go ahead and remove that. Let's do 1,300 kilos. Let's hit start loading, and let's set our takeoff trim. This would automatically set the takeoff trim, and it also sets the our V speeds as well. But it won't adjust until, you know, or it won't go to purple until or the magenta until your engines are started. So just gotta wait a little bit and then we should get that done. Everything else is set here. Our fuel quantity is checked. Our engine fuel used, we should go ahead with takeoff data.
Your passenger's bus is coming.
You reset fuel used over here. It's going to reset these. And then we're going to go ahead and continue. Memo panel has been checked. Power management is set to take off, and that checklist is completed. This is going to be before propeller rotation, but this is why we used our 1300 kilos, so we can start our start in hotel mode. I usually start in hotel mode because most times it's always you know, proper to start in hotel mode. Our
Passengers boarding started.
And in a minute we will start our aircraft in hotel mode. We don't typically have buses delivering passengers. We usually walk out of here and then just board the aircraft, work here and then come on here, and then you're boarding the aircraft. Our entrance is going to be here. Once you land, after landing, you come here as you're in your arrival, and then you deboard inside this area here. You go through customs, and then you exit the airport around this area here, well, outside here, and then you take the bus, you take the taxi, whatever it is that you have to do to get home. And yeah, that's basically how you typically go around here. So I wish GSX would not do something like this. They would give us the option to set where our passengers are boarding if we're not using a bus, or if we're just having them walk out in certain areas like at regional airports. So if you fly, we land at an airport and we can get to set it how we like it, that would be perfect. So once they disembark, they can exit here and, you know, enter the aircraft from this area and just walk out to the aircraft, which would be perfect. Alright, supposed to be raining today, but I mean the sun is out. If you notice, some of the vehicles on GSX are, you know, doing their wipers. It's expected rain, so don't be too concerned about that. Alright, so our fuel pump is on. We're going to get our start. We're going to start engine number 2. So in order for you to start it, you're going to have to turn on your hydraulic auxiliary pump right here. That way your prop brake will be ready. And then I just got to move to this side here. Prop brake is engaged. And with that prop brake engaged, we can go ahead and initiate a start of engine 2. Engine 2 is started. And with the prop brake on, the engine, the propellers aren't going to be spinning, so just gotta be careful with our gears. We're just going to wait for our boarding to be completed. We're just waiting for them to bring the baggage. So our passenger boarding is completed, and there goes the bus driving through us. Shows GSX nonsense. You notice we are seeing the backs now. That's because with the new system, in my older system, it just would not show these, but now it shows it from whichever distance that I choose. My system is pretty much old enough just holding up with this. Alright, so now that we got that sorted out, we got our juice set up. We have to switch to takeoff mode. That way, when we depart, we don't have, that sink in that is going to happen once you take off and then you engage autopilot or anything like that. So the climb out is usually all manual climb out, and then you, everything that you need to do is run no reverse. It's going to be wet, and we should be okay. The reason why I did this is because when you are flying, when you land and you go into reverse thrust, the aircraft tends to nose up for some reason. I believe that's the main reason why when the aircraft, when they land, they push the yoke into the ground for the nose, because once you go into the reverse, because they don't go into reverse until the nose is on the ground, but once you go into reverse, it tends to pull the nose back, like it's gonna do a tail strike again. So once you touch down, you gotta push that nose forward and then go into reverse. But once you do that, it kind of reduces the amount of thrust required for going into reverse thrust. So I think you should just. Oh no, you see that overlock? Oh, that's what it does there. Alright, so we're just gonna wait for him to do what he's doing, and then we should be all set. It's not like the second thing here. The amount of persons who are loaded here, we're gonna be carrying a lot of baggage. So I should have went into the hotel, but I thought he was loaded enough. Why do you guys while the passengers were loaded? Like. Oh well, we do have enough fuel for us to keep hotel mode going, so I have no issues or no problems with that. So we're just waiting until people loaded the baggage. We should be all set. our before propeller rotation checklist here. CDLS is on. TLS and takeoff data is confirmed. No icing conditions. And we're all set. It has been confirmed. Trim 3-axis are set. Trims 3-axis are set. Tail prop is not on board, but I selected it for some reason. Let's put our tail prop on board. Let's move our motor. Doors are closed partially, and it is about to close. Set our seatbelt signs to on. And our beacon lights to on right now. Our rotation checklist is coming in. We're going to close our cargo door, while the chocks, and we're not going to have to turn it off either for us before I put it down. Alright, so now that we are ready to go, not yet because my A-Cars is not loaded. Where's my A-Cars? Pegasus got it. Let's go to our booking. We're gonna start our flight. I was flying my other flight last night, so let's add that flight plan. That from SimBrief. And then we're all set for our departure. So our documents, we're just going to grab our documents and so on, and then we're going to go ahead and close our doors, verify everything else is set on our end, and we should be ready for, we are ready to go. So our fuel pump is going on, wait for that fuel pressure to come in, and now we're going to go ahead and start engine number 1. Engine number 1 is, we got it, and percentage is going up. We're in start mode. Engine number 1 is started. Normally, what I see tends to happen is in the real aircraft, the ATR, they tend to start this engine, put this engine into from hotel mode before they start this. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start doing that as a procedure. But we're going to go ahead. Hydraulic auxiliary pump is set to on. Our prop brake is set to unlock. And there we go. So now we're going to go ahead and get these to auto. Alright, engines are started. Before taxi checklist. That is recalled and somewhere around I hear less. And then our cockpit comm hatch is closed. Condition levers 1 and 2 is auto. Anti-ice is as required. CRU is on check. Anti-skid test we didn't perform it, but we'll just say we performed it. Flaps are going down to flaps 15. And our nose wheel steering is on. Procedure is complete. Now we're going to go ahead and call up. We're going to proceed to call on VATSIM here to let persons know that we are about to taxi to Holden Point. Douglas Charles traffic, Caribbean 282, will taxi to runway 09er, Charlie, Douglas Charles. Alright, so here we go. We're beginning our taxi right now. Taxi and takeoff light is set to on. Our brake check. Yep, that's a serious brake check. FCP AFMA is checked and our CO config, which is on this side, has been checked. Procedure is completed. We're now taxiing over to the runway. Now, here we are at the runway.
Approaching 09.
Traffic Caribbean 282, we're taxiing or backtrack runway 27 for runway 09 at Charlie at the shows. Okay, so we are now on Charlie here and we're entering the runway. So our entry procedure, which our strobe lights are going to be on. I'm going to turn our landing lights on yet.
On runway 27. 700 meters remaining.
Alright, so let's go ahead, switch to go around mode. If you notice, this is going to pitch up to the right pitch attitude for us when we're ready for takeoff. Our flaps are set, our power levers are, or condition levers are in auto. Our propeller or power management is set to take off. And our runway is checked. We're just going ahead and do our backtrack. So now I'm going to go ahead and do that checklist right here. Takeoff briefing is complete. Gust lock is still on. Flight controls. Checked. Flight controls were done. The gust lock is on. That's the only way you can actually get to do the flight control check. But let's go ahead and get the gust lock off, and let's do the flight control check one more time. Full left, not full right, full up, full down, neutral. My joystick is starting to give me some issues. I have to go forget it, do some fixing of it. But it's there. Shouldn't be much of an issue, really. Transponder TCAS. We're going to go to our surveillance page and set our transponder to on. TCAS to auto. Check. Airflow is normal. Cabin crew is advised. Engine bleed is as required. External lights. Flight director bar is centered and rudder cap is centered. So now we're on the left hand side here right now. We're going to go ahead and we're going to be making the majority of our turn, especially that full circle around turn. We're going to be making it on our left hand side because that's our seat. We're in the left seat today, which we're always in the left seat. So
30 meters remaining.
Thank you. Now we're just going to do our roundabout turn.
On runway 27. On runway 27.
Alright, here we come around. Yeah, the weather has changed a little bit here.
On runway 09.
Alrighty-o. Our brakes are set and our landing lights are on. Start to abort. Everything else is checked on my end and we should be ready to go. Look shows traffic Caribbean 282 or departing runway 09 at Carib 1 departure with replace at left hand. Look shows. Alright, so let's just verify that we have no traffic. Yep, so we have no traffic within our departure. And let's go ahead and click button. If you notice, this went to magenta. That's going to be our speed for a climb out. So we are just gonna go ahead now because I don't have, physical throttle. I'm gonna go ahead and do this the way that I do all the time. There we go. Power is set. Airspeed's alive. So now that we're rapid climb, get up to altitude, then after you start descending immediately. So as mentioned, with the in the real aircraft, I noticed that whenever they're starting the engine, they start with the right engine, which the hotel mode is on. So what you will typically see is coming out of hotel mode, the props will flick across and stop for a second. Then after the prop ring will be disengaged, which then you see the aircraft going through the propellers. And I will stop it so there we go. Weather being great. Alright, well, that's how it is. That's how it's gonna be. So, yeah, so the props tend to get turned on on the right hand side where the prop brake is, and then after they proceed with the prop start. But that most likely is their procedure, and that's Intercaribbean's procedure. I'm gonna set for 1800. 1800 is set here, so that's where we're going to be going. Set our heading button this way. Because we need Alright, check power management. So the takeoff here, your speed is checked. Icing, angle of attack line. As required, exterior lights are completed now on. And our procedure is completed. Now we're going to go ahead and convert up a little bit of power to maintain our airspeed. We're going to say it's wet. To 0 and here we go. All right. Autopilot is off. Some power out. Reset traffic. Alright, so we've already made our calls to reset traffic. We are just going to go ahead and proceed to our avenue. Now we're not on the right frequency, but I'll remain in Unicom for now. I definitely gotta get my thing opened up here. My just open up and cleaned out. Make sure that everything is working as it should. And we're getting a little bit of turbulence for that arrival. We're maintaining our airspeed. It's going down, it's dropping for a little bit, but we're trying our best to keep our airspeed there. We've got our aiming point set.
Approaching 1, 2.
Check. Putting up on the power here, putting the power back slowly. We're allowing the aircraft to float in.
Approaching minimum 500.
Check.
Minimum. Minimum.
Power zone. Continue. We are on light actually.
Two 200. 100. 50.
I'm gonna fly beyond the
40.
touchdown.
30.
Power
20.
up.
10.
Long landing! Long landing!
Yeah, that's my joystick not being nice and sliding over there. So I'm definitely gonna get it fixed before I proceed to do another flight. But that was our touchdown. My joystick is not playing well with my rudder, so I'm gonna open it up, get it cleaned out, everything what it needs to, how it needs to be, and taxi out to park in here. Because of the fact that my rudder is behaving the way that it is, if you notice, I'll try and it's just partially moving, but it's going to move full for this side. One of the things that I hate about this aircraft is the fact that it's, well, not the aircraft in particular, but the maker, when they made this, they made it with so little power that the aircraft just stops even if you got it in, you're trying to get power out. Turn our vessel off on once we get out of here. Let's get to our gate. Alright, and we're off the runway. Strings are off. Yeah, the power just went back, which is annoying. It's like every time you go off to like a taxiway or something, the power just automatically rolls back. Once you get onto the runway, it increases. It's all over the place. Alright, so we're heading into parking. Let's just head over to this parking ahead of us right here, and then we're gonna park up. I've got to open up my joystick, do some cleaning. I have my electronic cleaner there. I'll just get it cleaned out and then test it out. For some reason, when I got back from Tortola, it basically did this. So I'm gonna try to see if I could get it fixed and run it. And welcome to Raise Head, guys. We are pretty much stopped here. Alright, our gust lock is on. Taxi light is off. This engine off. I could have turned on my prop brake, but I'm not about to do all of that right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and put in our DC power. Our chocks are on, and let's go ahead and get external power in. There we go. Let's get our beacon lights off. And here we are. Hey guys, welcome to RayZ. Let's complete our flight. Let's review stats. Landing rate we did 126, which again is expected due to the fact that I was pushing on my rudder and it did not want to do what I needed it to do. And it says here 124 feet per minute. Let's file our PIREP. PIREP has been submitted. And flaps are up. Everything else is all okay. Let's get our tail prop and our cargo door. Let's go ahead and call in GSX. And okay, GSX is being a nuisance. But again, guys, welcome to RayZ. Thank you so much for joining me for the flight. I'm about to go ahead and adjust my joystick. If you notice, my rudder is not moving the way that it should. Before, it used to do the entire thing, but it's not making that full movement anymore. So I'm going to adjust it, make sure everything works, and most likely the next flight is going to be a lot better. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon.